Welcome to another ThemeMountain video tutorial. This is part 2 of the Avalanche slider, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to add captions to the slider. So if you watched part 1, you'll know how we set up the slider and added images to it. So I have the slider in front of me here, and I have slide 3 open. To add a slide, we go ahead and click the plus sign here or here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And here we're presented with 3 different elements we can add to the slider: a button, a caption, or an icon. So I'm going to go ahead and add the caption here. Now, as you see, we can set the margin bottom of the caption and the margin bottom on mobile. And this is useful when, for example, you have 2 or 3 captions on desktop, but on mobile you hide 1 or 2, and so you want to change the bottom margin of some captions, or align them differently, or clear the margin altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this to 20 as an example. I'm then going to go ahead and add a slider caption. Now, as you'll notice, our slide is in purple, so obviously we'd like the caption to be in white. Therefore, we've added a color picker to the text editor, which allows you to mimic the background color of the slide so that you get a better idea of what it would look like. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this color to white. I'm going to center line it. And if you're familiar with ThemeMountain's HTML products, you know that we use a lot of text classes to style the text. And you can access these under Formats, ThemeMountain. And as you can see here, you have the lead class, text classes, and title classes. But for now, I'm just going to stick to a regular H1 tag. So I have my caption there, and I'm happy with that. Next, we have the display options. For now, I'm not going to do anything here, but you'd select this option if you wanted the caption to be displayed in line. Basically, that means if you want multiple captions to be aligned next to one another on the same line, you would check this option. And this becomes very useful, for example, if you'd like to animate multiple words in a paragraph, for example. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that. Then we have the animation, and it defaults to fade in, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to slide in from the top. I'm going to leave the duration to 1 second or 1000 milliseconds, and I'm not going to add a caption delay. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Then we're going to go ahead and add a button. I'm going to select the button, and much like the caption, we can set the margin bottom and margin bottom on mobile. But I'm going to set this to 0 simply because this is going to be the last caption that we have, so we don't need a bottom margin. You can also make this button scroll to a certain section within the page, but for now I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to go ahead and select an icon as an example. I'm going to go ahead and set a button label, and I'm going to leave the URL blank, but this is where you would add the ID of the section that you would scroll to, or the URL of the page that you want it linked to. For the display options, I'm going to leave it unchecked, simply because we want the button on a new line. And for the design options here, we can change the appearance of the button. So we can set the icon alignment left or right, change the button size, and even change the style of the button. Should we want rounded corners or a pill-shaped button? So I'm just going to go ahead and set a color to the button here. I'm going to make it white initially, and then just a white border upon hover. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and set the animation of the button. I'm going to set this button to slide in from the bottom. I'm not going to change the duration, but I will add a delay of 400 milliseconds. So I'm done with the button. I'm going to go ahead and save that. But as you can see, we have the button above the caption. So I'd like to rearrange it and have the button below the caption. So we can simply go ahead and drag the button below the caption as such. And this is how you can rearrange any slider captions. So I'm going to go ahead and update that, and we can take a look at what it looks like. There we go. I'm going to go to slide 3. And there we go, we have created a text caption and an animated button caption. Now I'm going to show you how to insert icons on the same line. So I'm going to go back to the caption that I've created. This time I'm going to go ahead and delete the button. And we're going to go ahead and insert a slider icon. And just like the button, we can set the margin bottom and margin bottom on mobile. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this to 0, just like we did for the button. I'm going to go ahead and select the icon I want to use. And then I can choose what to link it to. So normally here I would obviously set it to link to page because I want to link it to my Dribbble account. And then I can enter the URL here. Or I can use the slider icons to link to a lightbox. For example, to launch a video, a Vimeo video, or a YouTube video, or another type of video. So just to show you here quickly, you can change the media type. You can change and select whether the lightbox should have a toolbar, a zoom button, share buttons, and even add a lightbox caption for the video that you'd launch. So I'm just going to go ahead and swap that back to page, but I'm not going to enter a URL as I'm just showing what this would look like and how to do it. Then we have the display option, so this time I'm going to go ahead and select display inline as I want to align two icons next to one another. Then the design option, just like the button, we can set the size. We can also set the style. So I suggest you go through these and play around with them and try them out and see what fits for you. I'm going to go ahead and set the color here and the hover color. Actually, I'm going to set the hover color to, let's see here, 48% opacity, just as an example. Then I'm going to go ahead and select the animation. I'm going to make this icon slide in from the left. I'm going to add a delay just like we did for the button, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to rearrange it, and then I'm going to duplicate the icon and just switch the icon. So I'm going to set this to Facebook, and I'm going to change the animation to slide in from the right. And also maybe add a higher delay. Alright, going to go ahead and save that, update that, and we can see what that looks like. So I've reloaded here. And there we go. We have an animated text caption, and we have two animated link captions with a hover effect. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to insert an image using a caption. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I go back to my slide. I'm going to go ahead and delete the icons we just created. Edit the text caption we have. Actually, what I'm going to go ahead and do first is I'm going to clear the caption here because we're only going to clear the bottom margin as we're only going to have one caption. I'm going to delete this text. Go add media. And I'm going to select a transparent PNG, in this case a signature. I'm going to insert that into the caption. So once inserted, I'm going to up the size a little bit by clicking the edit icon, and I'm going to set this to a custom size. So the original is 1200 in width, so I'm going to set that to 600. So it's going to look nice and crisp. I'm going to go ahead and save the changes here, and I'm going to go ahead and update that. And then we can see what it looks like in the front end. There we go, so we've created an animated image caption. And this is basically how you create animated captions from button captions, text captions, image captions, and link captions. Join us for part 3 where we'll show you how to handle captions on mobile.